here and try my luck at the casino? Ah, you can hold me a little bit. I won't be there, I promise. Okay, thanks. I want to be a lady tonight. I want to be a lady tonight. Like if you've ever been a lady to begin with. I want to be a lady tonight. I like to let a gentleman see how nice a lady can be. I know the guys that you have been here before with. Oh, like to be a lady with me. A lady never needs her escort. It isn't fair, it isn't nice. A lady doesn't wander all over the room and blow on some other guy's dice. So let's keep the party polite. Never get out of my sight. Stick away, lady, I'm a fella you walk in with. I want to be a lady. Oh, I want to be a lady. I want to be a lady tonight. Yeah!
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Bellagio. I'd like to introduce you to our showgirls tonight. Here they come. Called and he said, just a moment, let me see if she's here. Ladies and gentlemen, the Miss Tina Turner.
So this is how we look
she's going to come out here. Miss Brenda Lee, and sing for you now.
My baby whispers in my ear, sweet nothing. He knows the things I like to hear. Sweet nothing. Things he wouldn't tell nobody else. Secret, baby, I keep it to myself. Sweet nothing. Sweet nothing. We walk along hand in hand. Sweet nothing. Yeah, we both understand. Sweet nothing. He certainly knows how to read my book. My baby gives me that special look. Sweet nothing. Sweet nothing. I'm sitting on my front porch. Ooh, sweet nothing. Do I love you? Of course. Ooh, sweet nothing. Mama turned off the front porch light. She said, "Come in, darling, that's enough for tonight." Sweet nothing. Sweet nothing. Sweet nothing.
Thank you, Brenda. You know, we have a lot of talent, and a newcomer that's come on the scene. I don't know if you've heard about Rodney Dangerfield or not, but we have him here tonight, and he gets no respect. Rodney Dangerfield.
Hello, everybody. My name is Skunk. In Vegas, we all have gambling nicknames. My wife is Barfly because I met her in a bar. I'm Skunk because I was drunk as a skunk. So anyway, 40 years ago, I'm in Vegas, and I'm hanging out with my gambling buddies, and this tall, beautiful blonde walks to the door, walks past our table, and sits up at the bar. So I got up and I went over and gave her my pickup thing, you know, and whatever. And she looked at me and said, "What do you do for a living?" And I said, I lied, and I said, "I'm a doctor." And she says, "Well, Doc, it's been nice hanging out with you, but I'll see you later, okay? Whatever, no, I'll see you later." So I went back, and I remembered that she had a Tampa Bay Buccaneers football shirt on. So I walked back, and we started talking football, and we talked for 3 hours, and we ended up getting married in Vegas. So we've been living here 40 years, and my wife says, and she's Barfly, I'm Skunk, Barfly says, "Hey, let's fly down to Tampa." She says, "The New York Yankees are playing the Rays. It's the last game of the season, and if the Rays win, they're in the playoffs." So I says, "Yeah, let's do it." So we flew down to the game, and the Rays were behind the Yankees by 7 runs in the 8th inning. And I says, "Come on, it's time to go, let's go." And she says, "I'm not leaving." So I got her a couple Diet Cokes and myself, and we stayed awake. The Rays came back and won in the 12th inning. Now, guys, here's a lesson. Always listen to your wife and do whatever she tells you to do. Now, I work at the MGM studio, and I haul people around. I'm a courtesy van driver. And one time, I got this customer, and he was wearing a Cleveland Indians shirt. Oh, that's politically incorrect. He was wearing a Cleveland baseball team shirt. And so, I talked baseball, and I told him about the time I was 15 years old in Detroit in the center field, and Jimmy Pearsall was the center fielder for Cleveland. And he was a nut. And people were throwing stuff at him, he's yelling at everybody and flipping everybody off. And so the ninth inning, Detroit's ahead 3-2. Cleveland gets 2 men on base, and Pearsall steps up and hits a home run. There is complete silence. And he waited for those 2 runners to cross home plate. Then he ran as fast as he could and dove headfirst into second base. Then he got up and he ran backwards from second to third. He was high stepping it like his knees were up to his chin. And then he turned around and ran full speed and dove headfirst into home plate, got up and flipped everybody off. And needless to say, he did not start the second game with a doubleheader. So my customer said, well, that's my dad. And I'm like, no way. And he showed me his wallet, James Pearsall Jr. It was him. He was born in 1954. He was 6 years old when that happened. Now, I went to a small college in Ohio called Bluffton. It was 17 miles north of Lima, Ohio. Yep, Bluffton. So, I was 18. We used to hang out at a place called the Villa. And in Ohio, you can drink 3-2 beer at 18. So we used to play, and there was this cute girl at the bar. So I went up to her, and I says, can I buy you a drink? And she says, how old are you? I says, 23. And she says, no, you're not. I'm 23. How old are you? I says, 18. And she said, well, come back and see me when you grow up. So now I'm working at the MGM, calling people around. That's what I do in Vegas. And this woman gets in, and she says she's from Lima, Ohio. And she said, I used to hang out at the Villa too. And I used to sit up at the bar. So when she got out, I told her, I've grown up. I'm 76, and you're 81. Well, I've had other customers too. I had one time, well, let's see. There's so many. I got to tell you one that it was a woman, and we have a guy, and he's a ladies' man at MGM, and Terry, so I picked up this woman from the hotel, and I'm driving her back to the MGM, and she says, well, when I get back, I'm going to ask Terry Patterson for a date. And I told her, I says, Terry Patterson already has 23 sister wives. And she goes, well, I'm number 24. And she gets out and runs up to him and gives him a hug. Yeah, it's a fun job. But thank you all for listening. I appreciate it. And don't party too hard, When you're our age, nighttime is at 8 o'clock. It used to be 2 o'clock, now it's at 8 o'clock. And don't forget to take your nap at 2 o'clock.
A little bit of history of Las Vegas is the fact that in 1905, this was founded. It wasn't really until about 1928 when Howard Hughes came along with all of his money and all of his influence. And he said, to the engineers, I think that we should build a dam. And that's why we have all these lights, because the energy was then promoted by the dam. And there's so many entertainers over the years. You had so many, like the Rat Pack. You had the Lennon sisters. You had the McGuire sisters in later years. You had people that come in and out of our lives, and Tony Fields was a wonderful little comedian. And it's the fact that she died a terrible death, but she went away with a smile on her face, and she really loved what she was doing. Not to be morbid. It's the fact, too, that there were so many Pat Boones. Oh, you had Tom Selleck when he first acted, and what a man. And now he's been canceled on his program. So anyhow, I wanted to give you a little bit of history of Vegas And now I'd like to introduce the Vegas Showgirls and Gypsy Rose Lee.
They're all gone. Better news is that I understand your news. This news, you guys are still here. Now, I know I'm not Elvis Presley, but I can shake my like Gypsy Rose. And I know I can shimmy my whatever. But now I'm gonna sing. Well, but lucky it's not the pens. Anyway, here we go. Love me tender, love me true. Nope. Love me tender, love me sweet.
Hey, what are you doing out here? You're not supposed to be here. You're going to love Tether right off the stage here. Come on.
the end of Act 2 yet. I'll wait till the curtains draw close.